ではでは。ストーリーっていうゲームをやってみこうかなと思います。推理ゲームですね。どれぐらいの長さがあるかわかんないんですけど。ストーリー。さあ、何でしょう。コーナーストーン。ログイン名、オースゲスト。アーカイブにアクセスするための検索ワードを入力してください。データベース。キーワード殺人って書いてある。検索。なんでしょう。なんかパソコンの画面なんだね。サウスイースト。コンスタブラリー。ブリーディング。時計。2025年6月16日8時40分35分。リードミー。ロジックデータベースについて、コンピューターテクノロジーは現代の警察活動の根幹を担うものであり、このロジックデータベースは我々の仕事の流れをデジタル化し、より活用しやすい形で証拠を保存するための試みです。このデータベースには、ポーツマス凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブより集めたビデオ映像が収録されています。データは ASR テクノロジーによって自動的に整理され、証言は個別のクリップに分割され保存されているため、それぞれにタグをつけることで法廷への提出の際などに活用することができます。クリップを取得するには検索ボックスに言葉を入力する必要があり、検索を押すとクリップが検索されます。ポリスインフォメーションテクノロジーオーガナイゼーション。警察署なんだね。 所属する署内の IT 担当者にお問い合わせください。リアリー、リードミー、テキスト。こいつがデータベースだ。情報公開法に従って申請し、アクセス権を取得しておいたよ。見たところちゃんと機能しているようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われたみたいだが、その後の Y2K 騒ぎなんやらで、こいつは放置されたままになってたようだ。SB DB チェッカー、データベースチェッカー、1個のファイルが見つかりません。ゴミ箱、バックインフォ。なんて書いてあんの？ G なんとかハック IRC チェックミラーゲームなんて書いてあるんだっけね。これは絵か。ミラータイル。重くなられてきの。ログオフ。これもゲーム終わりにするってことか。とりあえず、殺人で出てきたやつを見るってことか。コーナーストーン、クリップ D141A、N テグ。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
Okay.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
私はどうすれば？D163A
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
サイモンの殺人？取り調べを受けているのか、この女の人が。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
容疑者ってこと？1994年6月27、7月1日、7月3日。
Yeah, that's me. But
2ヶ月前。
that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
2ヶ月前じゃん。2月か。サイモンで検索してみる？お、いっぱい出てきた。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
モンスト
They
ブ
do
ラザーズ。
windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
サイモン・スミス。
It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock. It's run by a nice couple,
ピータ
Peter and
ー
Susan.
スーザン。
There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
この日っていうのがサイモンが亡くなった日。
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
サイモンゲーム時々やってる。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy.
失踪。
Someone must have done something to him or
あ
there
あ、
must be
失
some kind
踪
of。accident. So what do we do next?
行方不明ってことか。
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much.
サイモンを愛している。サイモンの恋人か。
It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock.
ピーターと
It's
スー
run
ザ
by
ン。
a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes,
ヘ
Helen.
レン。
Peter said
ピーター。ヘレン。お、新しい動画。
no. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
ん
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
討論。お、いっぱい出てくる。
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument.
金曜の夜。
He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
サイモンが帰ってこないから警察署に来たんだ。
There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument.
Nothing
Nothing specific.
奥さんなんだ。
No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to. No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back.
夫婦喧嘩をして、
It's always that way.
行方不明になったってこと？これは違う日だ。
Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
8時ぐらいに出て行った。 10個見つかったけど、5個しか見れないんだ。検索履歴。アンチグレー。あ、見やすくなる。でもこれの方が雰囲気出るね。後ろのキーワードが見れないね。キーワードじゃない、フリップ。サイモンは52ゲージとしてるのか。G。も
I think when I drove back, it was about 8 or something. And I got back to the house about 3.
何の話かわかんないね。なんで殺人の話になってんだ。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help? Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago.
2
What's that got to do
月。
with Simon's murder?
2月ってなんかある。でもサイモンの殺人と何の関係があって言ってるから、7月1日のタイミングでもう殺人ってことになってる。
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something. That's why I was speeding. And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
お？車関連スピードを出しすぎたんだよ。11個。後輩のブレックが見たいんだよね、本当は。
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
キャバリエ。
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Sam left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
ん？
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow.
グラスゴー。
I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
今も話をしてるもん。
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there and I Is there a bin?
戻ってきたらサイモンがどうしたんだ？
Yeah. I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
結局サイモン、殺人は殺人なんだよね。でも最初行方不明みたいな話してた。スミス。
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith.
6月18日。ハナ・スミス。だから奥さんだね。
Yes.
7月3日。
My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
嘘発見器かけられてない。嘘発見器かけられてるってことは、やっぱ容疑者になってるよね、7月の段階では。最初6月半ばぐらいは、旦那さんが家に帰ってこないって言って、警察に来てた感じだったけど。
It's the Rockington Arms. The
ピー
Rock.
ターとスーザン。
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with. And the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
ピーターとスーザン。ああ、話題には出してないんだ。うん。ロック。もうバーの名前は何回も出してる。
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
最後に行ったのがザ・ロックなんだよね。
Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locks if it swings too.
それはドアのロック。
Yes, I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key. 何を調べたらいいんだろう。ウォーロンの話は気になるよね。 There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
失踪。 もう最初の動画だけど。金銀出ないか。いっぱい寝る。
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. I...
死体を見つけた。
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. I...
死体を見つけた。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open.
死体が入っていた。
I screamed and that's when I called the police.
昔の話をしてるってこと？
Yes. Down there with the torch and went straight to the back. And that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. The pile was in the wrong place. Nursery stuff, stuff we never needed, and I knew that when we lived out old stuff, sad stuff. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about.
え？どういうことか全くわからない。
His body didn't look real.
彼の死体。
His throat
だからやっぱりサイモンの死体か。
didn't look like his throat had been cut.
地下室で見つけたってこと？
And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear them.
眼鏡はかけていなかった。
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. He's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
何の話をしてるんだ。
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. The forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
子供が亡くなって、両親も亡くなって。この動画は6月30日。前。7月3日だ。
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
なんかこの人は病気なのかな、もしかして。7月3日。タグつけておこう。検索しやすいように。これで出てくるもんね。全部日付のタグつけといた方がいいか。この時点では容疑者になってんだもんね。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
弁護士と話させてって。
You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories. Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
疑われてんだよね。なんかキーワード。病気。
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face.
Hannah
gave her a huge black eye.
この人じゃない。
That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snapped a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen.
二重人格的な
So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
最初、自分は花だって言ってたから、二重人格っぽい。なんか音楽流れ出した。花が喋ってるのか、このもう一人の人は何なんだ。間違った。イブ。イブ。イブ。イブ。イブ。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
え？なんで？嘘をつい、そうか。それで、マイネームでハナ・スミスって言ったから、嘘発見器が反応したってことか。人格が2つあるから。
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper. Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
この人は花じゃないと思ってるんだよね。
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
あ、一瞬なんか顔みたいのが映ったの怖っ。19個のクリップか。イブ。
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up afterward. It was a love-hate relationship.
イブっていうのがもう一人の自分なのかな。
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
うん。
My mother called me Eve.
ああ、イブだ、やっぱり。だからイブと存在二重人格的な感じだ。イブの動画7個か。でも二重人格だね、完全に。人格。あ、そうか、二重人格でタブを作ったからか。
A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing
だから
another
もう
girl.
一人の人格の方
Girlfriend
が
came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face. Gave her a huge black eye.
夫を殺したんだ。
That night, she had to do the same to me.
これって何をしたらゴールなんだろう。ゴールというかクリアなんだろう。あ、そういうことか。すべてのファイルを見つけたらクリアってことなのかな。 刑事の映像が入ったサーバーは見つけられなかった。まあだからこの人しか映ってないよってこと。なんだろう。多かったやつを狭めた方がいいよね。サインも。
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway. And Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left. Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Diane.
Simon and Eric arguing? No.
Eric. Cewek.
He was wearing a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric.
Eric は上司か。
He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
奥さんがダイヤ。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラスゴーにいたわ。容疑者探しをしてる感じだったよね。
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diana's a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
グラスゴー。
That time. Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
なんか事故起こしてる。病院。
Asked the hospital.
病院に連絡して。
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital? It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
殺人があった時にはグラスゴーにいたと主張している。
I don't see how it's hard.
アリバイ。 これ一番最後のやつってことかな。232個のクリップがあるってこと？レスゴー。今。見てるか。グラスゴー5の電話。4台かな。グラスゴーに出た。
That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once.
同じ時間にグラスゴーにいたんだから。容疑者。
Okay. So you want to eliminate me as a suspect? This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions about me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
容疑者ですよ。ダグ。ダグって誰だ？
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
ダグとエレノア。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
向こうの親かな。サイモンの親。
I hoover, I dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. You know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that. Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
怎么大个的レノアティナーサイモンの両親だよね。
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just... 'Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
今のはうっかり落としちゃったのか、もう一人の人格の方が動いたのか。グラスゴーのそれをもうちょっとグラスゴー
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I knew it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now he's...
彼は死んでいるから。殺されたから。グラスゴーを
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
7月1日。あれ ?7 月2日。私は容疑者なのみたいなこと言ってたのに。1日の時点で、だからこっちはイブなんだ。イブの状態と、ハナの状態が、 だからちょっと強気な状態はイブだよね。ダンスで関係ないか。あ、これか。髪の毛の状態。これイブだもんね。
My mother called me Eve.
イブ状態と花状態があるよね。
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match.
イブだ。
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snapped a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
髪の毛を肩に片方にかけてるときはイブなんじゃん。そんな気がしてくる。最初は失踪事件だったんで。
Simon isn't the type
でもこれ
to run
も
off
こっ
or
ち
do
かけてん
anything
のか。
crazy. Someone must have
基
done
本かけ
something
てん
to
の
him,
か。
or there must have been some kind of accident.
で、なんかちょっと、これ
Someone
は
will be next.
花っぽい感じがする。雰囲気がちょっと花々が。あちゃん。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. From when I woke up. From when I woke up. We turned into a big art. and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring. Awful.
1984年ダブとエレノアと暮らしていた。
Hot summer.
赤ちゃんを失った。13個の来る。
That's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby. You're reaching here. And I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
浮気浮気もういっぱい出てきた。7個。
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman.
サイモンが浮気してたってこと？
It's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine. An affair. Simon wasn't having an affair. No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon. Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday.
この状態は髪の毛がこれなんだよな。
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
Hmm? 이렇게の動画出ないか。あら。お。
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
うん。やっぱり二重人格だ。
Hannah was so smitten with Simon.
アナは内向的で、イブは外交的なの。
Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
何いきなりサイレント組まりだし。
The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It was like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. had a hearty look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
なるほど。だから、お互い別人だと思ってるから、浮気していないって思い込んでるんだけど、それで口論になったんじゃない？
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile.
流産。
Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then...
Liaison von there. Oh, did it get
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage, the worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
黄色いやつが最後に見たやつってことかな。
My mother called me Eve.
これがここってことか。
One of us.
これが声ってことか。問題は リバイはあるんだよね。プラス5に見たっていうのはどういうこの時赤ちゃんがどうのこうのって言ってるんだよね。
It's like I told you before, I drove. I took the car. I wanted to think, I wanted to then. I did, and I hit a car to get the okay. The phone, she wasn't answering. To me, then Simon.
この時は言うってことか。
What did your wife do? An affair. And kill him there. Worrying me. And I loved him.
もし、あ、
When you suspect someone of murdering their husband. When you suspect someone of murdering their husband.
短いの。あと何があるかな、キーワード。両親。
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
「両親多いな21クリップある」
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
うん。あれ。
This was 9, about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
もうこれ最後の方だ。喧嘩をしたっている。喧嘩は出ないのか。あざ。あれ、あざの話してなかったっけ。
Sure, yes, of that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there. It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present. Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
うん。スミスは出てこないか。レゼルト。あ、
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. About 8 years back, it was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
完全にこれですね。鏡での破片で喉を切ったと。ここですね。ウィブ、エブ、ヘイブに渡したもの？イブ、どっちが先だ？イブかヘレンかどっちかに渡したやつを同じものを渡されたと思って喧嘩になって喉を切ったってこと？
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. Haven't looked at it since.
それ以来見ていない。
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical.
わざわざここで鏡っていうワードを出して検索に引っかかりにようにするっていうなんか作り手の演出を感じる。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things.
装飾ね。
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story.
ヘレナは
He made it especially for me.
そういうふうに思ってるけど、
His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut.
だヘレナだべ。
And I didn't see his glasses. As he's
チッタがイーブってことか。
the mirror. I can't remember. Haven't looked.
なるほどね。
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Holdなんか
On his throat. How?
彼の脳にどうしてあ、これが鏡じゃん。
On his throat. How?
証拠品ってことだ。
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. He was dead.
He is dead. もう大体分かったけどね、真相は。まだ結構ビデオ残ってるけど。決定的なのはこれだけど。あと20人国。
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and
ユーザーの話でサイモンプラス何かで減らしていけるんじゃ。
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
警察署に行くまでの話ね。もう事件の真相はもう大体分かったから。なんか分かんないことあるかな。サイモン。
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
うん。サイモンの人柄。なんだろう。コーヒ
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
ー。甘さは十分足りてるから。どういうこと？
Black, no sugar. Thanks. Yes. I got to Glasgow. I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up, got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back. No, I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water. About 8 years back, it was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have one cup.
あと一つある。なんだ、コーヒー。ブラックコーヒー。わかんない。電話。
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know. is Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. But she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much? Hurt someone? Yes. But everyone thinks that from time to time, right? You just want to lash out. Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary
空想の
friend.
友達
Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
と思い込んでるんだよね。宇宙人格だから。
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah.
さらに決めてきたん
Sam
だ。
wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
「サラはこの時しか語ってないか」
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
死体の入った袋ね。
They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them. Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective.
多分今のは特に何も関係なくて
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today. That was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So, it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
アリバイを確定させるためにね。革新的な。だから、イブ。イブ側は、仕送してるんだよね。お、何？チャット。ねえ、チットチャットって。どんな感じだ？終わったのか？ということ？それじゃあ分かったのか？君の母さんがなぜあんなことをしたのか。母親だったのか。じゃあ、生まれてくる子供って言ってたのは、この主人公なのか。ならよかったよ、サラ。外で待ってるから、ログオフして出てきてくれ。サラが、主人公がサラだったんだ。母親だったんだね。なぜ父親を殺したのかを娘のサラが喋ってこのデータベースを確認してたんだ。過去の二重人格でサラが受け取ったプレゼントと同じプレゼントを渡されたと思って喧嘩になって 威嚇のつもりで、プレゼントの割れた鏡を振った時に首を切ってしまった。子供の方が大切だからということで、地下室に隠して、証言が食い違ってるのはだから、イブはそれを記憶してるけど、もう一人の方なんだっけ？ハンナ。失踪したんだと思い込んでたんだよね。ということで、動画を見ながら謎を解いていくゲームでしたけど、結構面白いゲームでしたね。これまでにないなんかシステムですね。検索しながら真相を探っていくっていう。ということで、クリアっていうことなのかな？コンティニュー、レジット、コンティニューするとどうなの？続き。まだ見てない動画はありますけど、真相は、これで明らかになりましたね。はい。ということで、終わりにしようかなと思います。謎解きゲームでした。2時間ぐらいで遊べて、ボリュームもいい感じでしたね。では終わります。